Well, guess what time it is, guys? Time to rant a little bit. I'm going to slow this part down because I want to get this out of the way before I do the actual battle. The battle is going to be against TheRisingSilver. You probably saw this coming a while ago. So, anyways, a little bit of a rant first, just to get it out of the way. You know, just so you don't have to hear me ramble the whole damn time. But anyways, it's kind of about, it's kind of like maybe my own personal thoughts about what I think about this whole whoring in Pokemon competitive Wi-Fi battles and stuff like that. Now, I watched the upload on Pokemon Pit by Wild Chase against Black Spotted Zebra. Now, a lot of people hated the video mainly because he was whoring and stuff like that. Now, personally, what I would say if I wanted to give any feedback, constructive feedback, is maybe try different teams, maybe. I don't know, just to see how they work. You don't have to, but, you know, just try different stuff to see how they work. And if they don't work, then they don't work. So, you know, like sometimes I try out different pokes, and if they don't work, they don't work. Like, I know in my RU matches, I've been using 4 of the same Pokemon. Lately, I've been changing the last 2 members of the team with other guys. The other 4 would serve as the supporting Pokemon, basically, so that I can use those other guys without feeling too ridiculed and stuff like that. Like, I will later be using Eviolite Roselia. I know that she'll definitely do some work if you use her right. So, yeah. I think that, for the most part, if people are going to complain about whoring in a tier, they need to know that it happens in every tier, not just OU. In UU and RU, there's whoring. And here's the thing, on Pokemon Pit, you got like various types of uploads. You got MVZ and Magnitude who upload like non-serious battles. Then you got Wild Chase uploading like really serious battles. And I'm like a mixture. I use standard and not standard stuff. Sometimes I use stuff like Gothitelle that no one really uses, because I think that they're pretty good too. Like, I think they need some love too. And yeah, I got a grab bag coming up, so look out for that. So anyways, enough ranting. Time for the match to begin. So anyways, this is against TheRisingSilver. He uploaded this match on Pokemon Pit Beta, and, you know, not a lot of people took a liking to it. But, I don't know, I was kind of interested. I mean, this was a very awkward match, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, he leads with Rhyperior, and I'm gonna lead with my Moltres. And by the way, you guys are probably gonna get tired of seeing this team I'm using soon. You really are gonna get tired of it. But I'm trying to think of a different team I can use that will work just as well, but it's kind of difficult. Because, you know, the ones I've been using are pretty solid. So, he went for Curse with his Rhyperior, predicting me to switch out. Now, it was kind of risky for me to go for the Hidden Power Grass, because he did have a Boufflant, and the fact that his Rhyperior could just take me out with a Stone Edge. But I thought maybe he would predict me to switch out, predicting the Rock move or, you know, Stealth Rocks. But he predicted me to go for another HP Grass. I went for Air Slash, and then I went for Fire Blast and taking him out. So that's pretty much how it goes. So he brings in his big boss, Crow. And I'm going to go for the Roost, predicting Sucker Punch. Because I know that was kind of obvious. Maybe it wasn't, but I wanted to kind of gauge damage too, I guess, from full health. He does a bit over half with his Honchkrow Sucker Punch, so that does quite a bit of damage. So I'm just going to go for the Fire Blast, and it's going to take him out in one hit because the thing's not that bulky, to be honest. I mean, if you run like a bulky set, I don't know, like, have you ever used a bulky Honchkrow? Like, let me know if you have. But, anyways, he's going to bring in Cradilly. I'm going to go for the Fire Blast. I do a lot of damage with the Fire Blast. I'm thinking he might be more offensive. I'm not sure, because I only see Stone Edge and Leftovers. Not sure if he's like a defensive one or if he's like more physically defensive maybe. But I got him in a low enough range to where I could take him out with, I guess, anything on my team. But Gallade is the most favorable one in this situation because, you know, getting a free switch in them is always nice. And I go for the Ice Punch. So he's going to bring in Sophie the Moltres. Now, I did not know what kind of Moltres this is, so I stayed in to hopefully see if he has Substitute or not, because if he does, then I can just keep him from setting it up on the switch. So, anyways, I go to Gothitelle, because I didn't see any Lipo Recalls. I'm like, okay, maybe he's choice in some way, and I'm like, alright, it's Scarfed. Good to know. But, anyways, I go for T-Wave to try to cripple it, but he goes to Rhyperior. I guess he just wanted to fodder it. He did not expect me to go for T-Wave, because, you know, he hasn't really seen a Gothitelle being used before, and for good reason, because who's really using Gothitelle besides me? Well, I mean in serious battles. Somewhat serious battles. Like, with my battles, I kind of bring serious stuff. Like Alamomola, I've been using her in a lot of battles, but I don't know. I just want to have fun with these battles, whether I'm using the same guys or not, because they're some of my favorite pokes. And I'm planning to use the Chinchino later again, so I guess look forward to that when that comes up. But anyways, he brings in this Crawdaunt here, and he sets up the DD. It doesn't do that much. Now, here is the game changer right here. I was like looking at this like, whoa, that's a crit. That is a crit, and I barely lived that. Now, the fact that I lived a crit right there, I could have possibly taken like 2 to 3 more hits, and thus 2 to 3 more chances to get a burn on him, which would have pretty much sealed his fate, pretty much, one would say. Because a burnt Crawdaunt is pretty much useless. And I would have stalled him for the rest of the match, pretty much. But he gets a crit, I don't get the burn, and I'm pretty much going to get wrecked by this darn Crawdaunt. Because now that he has enough DD to outpace the rest of my team, there is nothing that I can go to take a hit. So I go to God to Tell. She frisks the expert belt. So I'm like, oh dang, that's pretty dangerous, because especially with his coverage, not much can resist his combination. So yeah, if you hit something for super effective, it's gonna freaking hurt, and you don't have to worry about life or recoil either. So I'm gonna go to Rhyperior, my last Pokemon, and he's gonna wipe me out. So damn, that was a complete flip over. I was wrecking, and then he was wrecking. I know people didn't like that match when he uploaded it on PvP Beta, but I think it was kind of weird. I think awkward game, you know. Then again, like every match I've had is really kind of awkward. I've had a few non-awkward games, but those are kind of few and far between because of a lot of weird stuff happens. But yeah, anyways, so basically for this video, you got a mini rant and stuff like that. You know, how about, you know, whoring, and that there's whoring in every tier. Like I kind of wonder, why do like this whoring in every tier? Heck, I kind of do it too. Now, granted, I use different stuff from time to time, and not the same teams exactly, but I don't know. I'm no better than Wild Chase, you know, when it comes to, like, I've been using Moltres, Gallade, Rhyperior, and Alomomola for a lot of my RU matches. And that's not changing for a while, sadly. I know a couple people want me to change teams, but I'm trying to think of another team that I could use. And it's kind of difficult, so for now, you gotta bear with me for a bit longer. I am using a couple of different pokes on this same team that I haven't used before, or that I haven't used in ages, so yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, I have a Violet Roselia coming up, and a Cinccino, and then I have one grab bag battle coming up, and then I got one UU match that I took sometime after this battle. So I got quite a few interesting things coming up, so if you guys did like this battle, leave a like if you want. I don't know, I think this was a very weird match, but not our best game, but I think considering like what happened here, I found it kind of interesting. And I kind of like turnarounds, because usually I make the turnarounds, but my opponent did it this time. Holy crap. Anyways, I guess for comments, leave your comments about what you think about this whole whoring stuff, or what you think about Wild Chase. Like, is he really that bad of a guy? I mean, I know he can appear to be somewhat of a dick. Sometimes he can come off as that way, but I think he's a very skilled battler. I think he's done quite a bit for the community and stuff like that. I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Peace.